Um, you're already ready to relax. So, now you think we're going to do the same thing with the audience, exactly as we did with Umar. It's like, oh, okay, now I know what I signed myself into. Maybe not. Maybe we're going to do something completely different. So, let's start with a question. We're kind of like piggybacking on what we did with Umar, but so we talked about the fact that in Bach you can choose your own dynamic. Can you tell the audience if you have the same freedom here?
No, Debussy writes like everything as he wants it to be played. So no.
No, like how much freedom do you have?
5%.
Okay. Okay. I think you're right. Like we always have some freedom. Okay, we always do. Okay, and so it's really about how. I don't want you to play like in a machine. That would be like the most horrible thing. Okay? So we do have some freedom. I think we need to be very, very careful in how we administer that little bit of freedom. Okay? So why am I saying that? Because I found that there were overall some parts that do you think you were playing too loud or too soft?
Sometimes too loud, sometimes.
Well, in the piece, yes, overall. But like if something was. Do you think you played your piano parts, your soft parts, too loud, or do you think sometimes you play your loud parts too soft?
Loud parts.
I think that your soft parts sometimes were a little bit too loud. Okay, and so like I know it's just soft, but how do you interpret this beginning? What does the beginning represent to you?
Miss.
Okay. Miss.
Like raindrops.
What I love every single word you said. Mist, right? Something that it's a little bit difficult to see through, right? And then clouds and drops, right? But I felt that when you played it, it was like soft but very, very dry, which is kind of the opposite of mist and clouds and drops, right? Feel you. So actually, I'm not coming up with anything original. Debussy wrote, we moved from a composer that wrote nothing but notes to a composer that the first thing he wrote, you can tell the audience,
evenly and without dryness.
Wow, it's like evenly and without dryness. So it's a very specific information. So when you play, and again, this is a very generous space in terms of acoustic, but I think you could just a little bit touch up your pedal, or not being that dry as you were at the beginning. Can you play the beginning once again? And your articulation is fantastic. Your articulation is already 90%, 100, or 110%. What do you think?
105%.
Yeah, it's over 100%. It's almost too articulate, right? And so, I think that you have the evenly part almost way even. Okay, I don't want you to negotiate that. I want to add something else. So maybe what if? As even as you, because I haven't spent time on this piece, but I was looking for a little bit wet sound, right? Maybe a little bit down, not a power ballad. That's right, right? So, and it's also the beginning of the piece. We don't know where it's going, right? So. amplifies what we do, either good or bad. You know, I tell my students, don't press the pedal to high things. The pedal amplifies. So if you're doing something bad, it's gonna sound bigger. If you're doing something good, it's gonna do it better. So, and I think because you play so clearly and with such a great articulation, that even if you add a little bit of pedal, it's not gonna sound muddy, as long as you don't put a brake on the pedal instead of a foot, right? So I think that's way better. Now, can you see the difference? As you said, drops, right? We just have 8 notes and quarter notes. So I know that's it's really, let's be honest, it's really fussy of the Debussy to specify things in that way, okay? But you chose the piece, or your teacher chose the piece, or maybe both of you. So here we go, here we are. So can we hear, so how can you make the difference between this and that? What, you can describe it with notes, that's fine.
Less pedal on this and maybe more like cushion on like.
Perfect. I can sit down and not teach anything, right? I mean, you're just saying, can you do what? Imagine you're teaching yourself. You say, hey Gerard, Gerard, right? Hey Gerard, can you just be less pedal here and be more cushy here and maybe just, you even did the gesture. Okay, just tell yourself and do it. Good, can we do that from the beginning? So we hear mist, we hear clouds, and we hear cushy. That's really good. This is just a tiny thing. I think that you start this really well, but somehow you get lost in consistency. So I don't think that this here really means like go back to super soft. Keep this cushy sound all the way through. Can you go from here? And now, just to make sure that you get the 100%, right? We don't want to overdo it. We're gonna play one of my favorite games and one of my students' least favorite games. Sorry, you're in the game is called Play Less, Play Better. Okay? So, if you were to play only the main notes of both hands, what would you play? So you play probably 75% less of the notes you're supposed to play, right? Can you overdo that? No, just with the same game, play less, play. Okay, now you are in trouble because you did this perfectly. And so now you told the audience what to listen to. Now can you play 100% of the notes, but the audience should still get these as the main information. Okay, voting time. Was this clear enough? Was this close enough? I don't know, you don't want to see the results, but people are not. Okay, so people are like, yeah, this is way more clear. The result between the easy version and the complete version is way closer than before. Now, in full honesty, you can tell me, yes, but now I slow down the time. That's fine. It means you need to get through that stage. Because if you play at the same speed, it's going to sound like before. Same thing that I said to Uma. You need to feel a little bit comfortable or change something in order to make a bigger change. Okay? So if you want to bring that clarity, probably you need to work at that speed. And then maybe in 1 week or even less, in 3 days, you get to a point where you have the beautiful sound cushy throughout plus the speed. Okay, so you just need to be a little bit patient, and you are for a moment, for just a short amount of time, negotiating speed with better sound. Okay. Here, yes, way softer, and yes, left pedal. Why not? debussy is for you?
Mezzo forte.
Mezzo forte. Okay, I think you know, and so now Gerard has to play from pianissimo to mezzo forte in one measure. Okay, so it's kind of like the opposite of what I told Uma, like, you don't really have much time to do that. You have 4 beats to jump, pianissimo, piano, mezzo forte. So in 4 beats you have to go up 4 levels. And I felt you were a little bit cautious. So maybe even if you lift your hands a little bit more, it's gonna help you. Let me push in 1 second. What about even a little more wilder? I play some round notes because I was looking for the right movement first. This is relatively easy, right? Right? So try to do that on the lift. Midway, it's going up and then you stop. Once again. With the notes. Okay, that's great. I don't care if you play 2 notes wrong, right? But that's the effort we want. Okay? Otherwise, in the practice room or at home, we are just like, oh, should I play cautiously with all the right notes, or should I put more music and just make a mess? You know? You just work the 2 together. Once again. Good. And if you decide one day that this is going to be forte, it will be even more. If it's fortissimo, it will be even more. Okay. Excellent, excellent, excellent. I love all of that. It was very, very beautiful as well. I think so. Here is one of those awkward moments where Debussy writes piano and then writes diminuendo and then piano and then diminuendo and then piano. So, like, well, then I expect at some point to play pianissimo, right? If you're piano and then you go down, at some point you go, well, maybe I repeat it diminuendo. So, actually, Debussy never writes that. He keeps writing softer and softer and softer. And so, and I think, and this is a little bit frustrating for an interpreter, right? Because it's like, what am I supposed to do? I'm trying to go down and then piano. So, I think it's totally fine to help that idea if you play with the left pedal at some point. You know, it doesn't mean that you have to be like super, super soft, but maybe change something in the color. So where would you like, for example, in this long stretch, to add the left pedal? So okay, so no left pedal, you're gonna keep it all the way, or you're gonna change it? Okay, so no left pedal, no left pedal, are you gonna reintroduce it again? Okay, what about maybe here where it says something? So we do no, yes, no, yes, that's fine. So I think it's way more effective. So we were still within piano, but there was a little bit more variety, and you gave yourself a little bit of guidance, okay, in some specific directions. Okay, here I'm gonna ask you, what do you think this part represents to you? There is a moment that you probably recognize in the piece where it gets significantly slower for a little bit, and all the turmoil stops. What does that?
It's like fascinating view, like a pretty fascinating view, and then this section is like on a gondola in Venezia.
Wow.
Like on a date.
Have you been there? Have you been in Venice? On a gondola?
Yeah.
On a date?
No.
Well, I wish you to complete your project. I mean, it's really amazing you've been in Venice. You've been in a gondola in Venice. No, I've been in Venice. I'm from Italy, from the same country. I haven't been in a gondola, and I haven't been on course, I haven't been on a date. I haven't been on a con. I brought my wife back then, fiance to Venice. Yeah. Anyway, so I wish you get there with the third step of the project. But so I think this is really apt. So if you are on a date or if you are in Venice, maybe now your parents are a little bit scared of thinking you're on a date. But anyway, I think that if there is a pretty view, you want that to be charming, right? And so you played it like this. Let me show you. Again, you played very beautifully, but it was like. And I think sometimes as performers we have to act out a little bit, okay? And so move to the audience. And so just to come, because the audience doesn't know what's going to happen, and I think sometimes gesture can help you convey that. So what if you try to be a little bit more charming by crossing hands? You know, I didn't play more beautifully than you. I just tried to trick the audience with this, and that helps. You know, it does help. You want to try that? Good. Now I know we have 2 minutes left, so I'll go really fast. When you cross, let the other hand go. Otherwise it feels like, oh, I'm doing because they told me, and it looks like you have to cast with your arms. So just this. Yeah, I think, you know, you get the right sound, you make sure you don't get accent, you know, it's still a work in progress, the way of changing it. But I think it does help conveying the character that needs to. Now, last thing, you brought this out very well. But I do think that this note does not belong to this passage. It's the end of this passage. So can you play this last line and stop here, pretend that this does not exist? So you have to convince us that's the last note. Okay, don't stop. Just pretend that's the end of the piece. Yes, and then you start. I felt like you create this beautiful magic in that note belongs to there. And now the last 30 seconds. Feel free, because this is a piece that we know the frustration that we always have to be soft and softer and quiet, blah blah blah. This is, you know. Finally, Debussy tells you forte and forte and forte and forte. Be as wild as you can. Okay? Again, don't be a good student. I mean, you are already a good student, right? Just you're banging back. Okay? Even when you have yes, you have a slur, then no slur. Well, you just try the left hand. Slur, and then no slur. Think about the bigger sound you get when you play something like this as opposed to Oh, I'm being cautious and moving. I know. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Wonderful. Thank you.